Dear students, today we are here to see Science 2, Chapter 7, Introduction to Microbiology, 10th Standard, Maharashtra Board. So this chapter tells us about all microbes, microorganisms. Micro means very small, which cannot be seen with our naked eyes. So they are called as microbes. Microbes are nothing but bacteria. Bacteria? Yes. Bacteria that cannot be seen, or sometimes they are seen with using microscope. So even our body runs on microorganisms, microbes. So many microbes are very much useful to us for human growth, human development, human survival. Whatever we eat and wherever we survive, microbes are very much important. Without them, our survival is not easy. So, before beginning the chapter, we should know what is microbiology. The study of microorganisms is called microbiology. Introduction, microbes means bacteria, as I have already told you. It says that which different microbes are useful to us. There are many microbes like lactobacilli. Okay, they are very useful for us because they synthesize the vitamins and they help us to digest food. Lactobacilli, you can find lactobacilli in yogurt, the curd we eat, in milk products. So it improves the quality of the food we eat. Which different microbes are useful to us? There are different microbes like lactobacilli and Clostridium, which is dangerous for us, and lactobacilli, which is useful for us. Products can be produced from microbes. What are the products that can be produced? Milk product, cheese. Okay. We can produce antibiotics using microbes. Many microbes are useful for reducing the pollution, decomposing the waste. Many microbes are useful for converting one type of product into another. Microbes are useful in medical field as well as in our day-to-day life. Many uses are there. Especially, we use them in our food product, and we also use them as a disease resistant through medicines. So there are different uses of microbes. Which different types of cheese? Cheese, of course, are used in pizzas, burger, etc. What are the different types of cheese? See, the cheese which we get from the cow's milk, buffalo's milk, it's different. And the cheese which we get in the market, that's different. And that is what they are asking. What are the different types of cheese? So like mozzarella cheese is used in pizzas. So whenever you go to McDonald's or Pizza Hut, wherever you go for next pizza meal, so make sure that you are having mozzarella cheese. And it is not good for health. Of course, it's not good for health. But still people eat because of its taste. There are different cheese like Cheddar's, Swiss Blue, burger, which is used in burger cheese. They are also called as burger cheese. So the cheese which are used in pizza, the cheese which are used in burgers, depends how people are using it, but there are different cheese at different levels. Goat cheese are there, cheese made from animal fats. Okay, Codiza, Feta, Gouda, Reggiano, etc. There are different types of cheese which are made from either animal products or made from the fats of animals. Especially all such type of cheese are mostly used in Europe and America. In India, basically milk-made cheeses are used. Next question is, what is the difference between normal cheese and fast food cheese? Fast food, you know. So the cheese which we use in our fast food, they are not healthy, and sometimes you may find it tasty, delicious. It appears good, it looks good. So the flavor is different and the taste is different. The texture is different. So there are many reasons, many factors because of which the cheeses are different. So normal cheese, you know, it depends upon like from where do we get the milk. If we are having the milk product, the cheese made from the pure milk of cow, buffaloes, goats, etc. Those cheese will be different, and we also check the comparison of different types of cheese on the basis of acidity, the color, and the texture. We also check whether the calcium ingredient, the nutrition value is there or not. We check the acidity, whether it is sour in taste or not. We check the softness and hardness of the cheese. Few cheeses are very soft, like cream. Few cheeses are very hard. So, like Parmesan cheese. So these are few cheeses and few factors because of which we find their comparison. Okay. Next is probiotic food is famous for what? Probiotic. Pro means advanced or research takes place and then we make something. For such terminology, we use probiotic. So when we use microbes in a very professional, I mean scientific way, so we come out with different products which are useful for us, and that makes our food valuable. It increases the nutrition value of the food. So they are called as probiotic food. It increases the nutrition value. It improves the quality of the food. It kills the harmful bacteria like Clostridium, and it increases the amount of lactobacilli in our stomach, which are useful for digestion system. It also increases the bacteria to help the synthesizing process in our digestion system, and it synthesizes the vitamins and increases the nutrition value of the food. It also, the probiotic food also helps us, I mean, it makes our body so powerful that we can resist diseases. Okay, so these are few things which we know, then only we can deal with this lesson very nicely. Okay, so going further, we'll see that the next scene is that which functions are performed by enzymes in human digestion system. There are many functions taking place in our digestion, the stomach system, where the food is getting digested. So, how the enzymes are doing that in human digestive system, and we have to give some examples. So, in human digestive systems, like there are many enzymes. They are secreted by different organs, by different glands, and different parts of the body, and because of which these enzymes react, and because of which the hard components of the food are broken down, and there is a catalytic activity taking place inside the digestion system, and then pancreas, intestine, all together, they help the hard substances broken down to the absorbable substance so that the food can be digested easily. So there are many enzymes created by the process. there are many functions performed by enzymes. So example, the complex food products gets absorbed and broken down into pieces, and then digestive process takes place. There are a few enzymes secreted. Pepsin, pepsin and renin are the enzymes which are produced. Then there are peptidases and peptidases, and there are few like trypsin and lipase. These are few enzymes secreted by different parts of the body like pancreas, intestine, and intestinal glands. So these enzymes are produced, because of which we are able to digest the food. So what are the examples? What are the examples? Pepsin, renin secreted by stomach. Pepsin and renin. Okay, pepsin and renin, they are the enzymes secreted by stomach. Then trypsin and lipase. Trypsin and lipase, they are produced by our pancreas. Pepsin and renin, they are produced by our stomach. Then peptidases. Peptidases are produced by, and molasses. Peptidases and molasses are produced by intestinal glands. So these enzymes are produced, and they are good for catalytic activity, and because of which we can use them as a digestive products or digestive enzymes. Okay, so next is, what is xanthan gum? Xanthan gum, it is produced from, to make the products easier and softer. It increases the softness of the product. Xanthan gum, it is used in different way. Xanthan gum is always fermentation of starch. It is produced by fermentation of the starch. Because until unless we fermentize the starch, we cannot produce xanthan gum. Now what is xanthan? How do we get the name xanthan? Xanthan name is derived from Xanthomonas species. There is a species, there is a creature from which we get this name. Xanthomonas species. Xanthan by fermentation. So we get this gum by fermentation process. Fermentation means उसको सड़ाना, किसी भी चीज को सड़ाना, that is called fermentation. So Xanthomonas species से हमें ये गम मिलता है. We use it for our different purposes. It is very soluble. Xanthan gum is very soluble in hot as well as cold water. It can be easily absorbed in water, and thus we can use it for different purposes. It is always used for making colors, pigments, and it is used in textile industry for xanthan gum. It is used in textile industry for colors, for producing different types of pigments. It is also used in toothpaste. It is used in toothpaste and for making high quality papers. The papers what we use, like deluxe, super deluxe papers. Even xanthan gum is used for making high quality papers. Okay, so these are the information that we should know. Antibiotics, we already know what are they. Antibiotics are always help us to get prevented or to secure our body from the diseases. We use antibiotics, but we should be very careful. We We should be very careful before taking such antibiotics. Yes, I'm telling you about the antibiotics. Now, what is antibiotic? Antibiotic means carbon compounds. In general, we use medicines. We use medicines. Now, of course, we use medicines for our prevention. So, what does these carbon compounds, I mean the antibiotics, these antibiotics, that means the medicines, what they do in our body? So, they are made from fungi and some bacteria. These medicines are made from some useful fungi and bacteria in such a way. They do some research and they make them like this. So after making the medicines, these medicines is used for destroying or preventing from, either we destroy these medicines, either destroy or prevent us from harmful microorganisms. So this is called antibiotic. So what is the meaning of antibiotics? Those carbon compounds which are made from fungi and bacteria which are used for destroying or preventing the disease from harmful microorganisms are called antibiotics. We have seen that in our area, in our locality, the BMC people or municipality people, they are coming to clean our dustbins. They come and take up the dustbins and in the lorry and the truck they are putting those garbages. And at that moment, we many times find that they are separating. Segregation means separating. They are separating the wet garbage and the dry garbage. So how these waste, that is, what is the purpose of that? What is the reason why they are segregating? The reason is very simple. Dry waste, like, I'll give you an example. Dry waste, like plastics, metals, glasses, etc. They are non-degradable, but they can be recycled and reused. This is what we can do with non-degradable things, and that is why it is very much important that we should not dump them together with wet garbage. Here on the left hand side, we come about wet garbage. So wet garbage includes, that means it has microorganisms. It may ferment, it may decompose. There are organisms which will decompose and dispose the garbage, the waste. And in cycle of decomposition, within some time, within few months or years, all the organic things in wet garbage will get decomposed and they will get mixed with the nature. And that is why it is very much important that when we throw the garbage, we should be careful that we are not throwing these garbages, we are throwing them. We should collect them and send it to the scrapper, the scrap person shop. And the wet garbage can be sent out. If we are unknowingly or unintentionally we are throwing like this the garbage outside, so of course BMC people will take care of that, and that is why they are there. And that is why, to prevent us from pollution, to prevent us from global warming, it is very much important that wet garbage and dry waste, they should be segregated so that it is helpful to the nature. Next is biogas plant. Many times we have heard about biogas plant. Biogas plant means from the nature we take the biodegradable waste, that means which can be decomposed and recycled for our uses. So biogas plants. So plant doesn't mean a living plant. Plant means a place or a device where we can produce gas for cooking food. So what is biogas plant? So there are many biodegradable wastes. We decompose them. Biogas plant decomposes them. There are few examples. What are the things decomposed? Biodegradable waste means what? Animal, plants, waste. Okay? Animal and plants waste. Example, cow dung, urine, plant meats, leaves, etc. So all these things are taken, they are dumped inside the tank of the biogas, and then through the process they are decomposed. Inside the biogas plant they are decomposed, वो सड़ते हैं, वो सड़ाए जाते हैं, and then from that we get, उसमें से हमें गैस मिलती है. Gas is a kind of fuel. We also get the remains. Remains means the extra material which is left inside the tank. It also taken out. They are used as a manure. So we use them in farms like fertilizers. So useful fuel and manure is obtained from biogas plant after decomposition of this biodegradable waste. So apart from that, we also get hydrogen disulfide. Hydrogen disulfide, we get methane gas. Okay, we get hydrogen disulfide, methane gas, and we get carbon dioxide. So you understand what do we get from the biogas plant, how the process takes place inside, what are the things used for decomposition, and then what do we get from it. 2 and 3, total 5 things we get out of it, which is very useful for human beings as well as nature. So when we get the cow dung or animal dung, there is a very useful bacteria in it. In this cow dung there is a very useful bacteria, whose name is methanogenic bacteria. It comes from the name methanogenic bacteria. From the cow dung, different types of dung we find methanogenic bacteria is present inside the dung. So it is useful. It is useful to decompose the waste. Got it? So in cow dung, animals dung, we find that this methanogenic bacteria, it is always useful to decompose the waste, all biodegradable waste. So this is how biogas plant is useful for us, and we get many things out of it. Okay. Dear students, next we have another topic, that is bacteria in soil and nodules of roots of plants. There are bacteria in the soil. Some bacteria are freely available and some are coming through different activities. Now these bacteria are present in soil as well as in the roots of the plants. So what is their role? What they do? So they are useful because these bacteria like rhizobium. Bacteria like rhizobium, they reside with nodules. In roots of the plant. So these rhizobium reside in nodules of the roots of the plant. What they do? They convert nitrogen and oxygen, or you can say air. They convert nitrogen and air to form compounds like nitrogen dioxide. Okay? So they convert nitrogen and air to form compounds, and this process is called as bacterial nitrogen fixation. This is called as bacterial nitrogen fixation. So these rhizobium, what they do, even there are different other types of bacteria. So they convert nitrates and amino acids. They produce nitrates and amino acids in the plant, because of which the food is applied to the plant, and in return the plant gives space and to these bacteria to live there. The bacteria are coming to the plants, they are doing some reaction, making compounds, because of which the plants are getting food or energy. So in return the plants are giving them space, and there are carbohydrates produced in the plants, in the roots of the plants. Carbohydrates are produced. So those carbohydrates are used by these bacteria. And there are many bacteria like algae and green algae and nostoc, azotobacter. They are freely available in the soil. So because of which this process continues, and it is good for fertility of the soil, so that the farmers can produce good crops, and there is no need of chemical consumption. We should not use chemicals more than a limit, otherwise it is harmful for the soil as well as the crops. And this is how the bacteria are used for the farms as well as the soil. That's it. So dear students, so far we have finished, we have covered the general knowledge, or you can say the basic part of this lesson, by which it is very easy to understand the chapter. Otherwise, without this knowledge, if you go for the chapter to understand, it will be very difficult for you. So, for making the chapter easy, first activity is that you should read the chapter thoroughly. First, read the chapter. Wherever you come across all the difficult words, you write it somewhere. The words like rhizobium, bacteria, and methane, all such words which are difficult for you to remember. So write it, practice it, know the spellings, and then come to the basics of the chapter. What the chapter say about, what are the themes involved there, and then go to the final concepts of the chapter. So when the explanation is going on through the video doesn't teach you how to write in the exam. Video tells you to get motivated towards the subject, and you can understand it much better. The concepts are clear. But finally you have to write the answers using the scientific words given in the textbook and present your answers. Okay, so be prepared in all the manners. So next video will be with the explanation of the chapter. Okay, thank you very much. God bless you.